Hi everyone, this is Kanis from Studio Karah. I imagine, I create, and I hope to inspire you along the way. Feel free to follow me in my journey. This is my June bullet journal setup in my new notebook. As you might have seen, my previous notebook is full with May as the last month, and you might have seen my new mid-year journal setup as well. If you haven't, I'll leave a link in the description and in the info icon for you to see. You can watch it before or after you watch this video. Before we get started, I have a little flip through to show you of the setup of May. I did a full journal flip through in the mid-year setup, so be sure to check that out if you're interested. As for my May setup, which was one of my most favorite setups in this journal, I really love the vintage collage and the wax seals in this setup, as well as the little envelope holding the writing prompt for that month. Something that I added on the page is a little label with the name of the month. Fits really well with the rest of it, I thought. What do you think? For the rest, I haven't filled in every single page, which is fine. I don't think that's necessary at all. The double Dutch door music stand was really something I loved in this setup, where I could leave myself a few notes. I also tried a different approach to writing in this month. Instead of only writing tasks and such, I tried to use it as a journaling page with full sentences, since I usually wrote things down at the end of the day as a little summary of that day. I think the vintage theme really called for that, as some sort of letter writing. I actually quite enjoyed switching back and forth between writing only tasks for the day and again writing in a journaling style. I really like the idea of that. What do you prefer? Do you journal in your bujo? That marks the end of the journal, and we are moving on to the new one, where I will show you a little flip through of the mid-year setup. Again, don't forget to check out that video if you're interested. I also have free printables available for this setup. All the info is linked in the description. Something new I have in this setup is my tracker spread. Yes, I know, shocking for someone who never uses them. I have my Instagram and YouTube growth tracker and my in creation tracker here. And since I filmed this setup, I actually grew more on YouTube, so I will quickly fill in one square. And surprise, I used the other side of my Tombow brush pens. I nearly forgot they're called dual tips. Anyone else with me on this? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, on the right side, I track how much I draw every week. I update this tracker whenever I finish an in creation drawing. Since this whole spread is quite personalized for myself, for the printables I created a full blank version with the months for the second half of the year and 2 empty customizable trackers for you to use for whatever you like. So definitely check out the free printables linked in the description. Here's a peek of how it looks. You know your girl can't finish the setup without using at least one wax seal, so here's that for the inspirations page. And lastly, I have a spread where I collect my bujo and YouTube ideas along with in creation patterns. Make sure to check out the process video for this setup for more details. Now for the June setup. As you have seen in the title, this month's theme is teacups, flower petals, and all that in a vintage vibe. We start with a little collage with an envelope on top, just like the May setup. This time I decorated the craft paper envelope a little more with my white gel pen, drawing some petals on it. I used some washi tape to hold down the collage as a prep beforehand, but it always ends up a little different on the page when I finally commit to it. Inside the envelope, I glued in some white paper to add a bit of dimension and added a little bit of washi tape. I used a piece of floral cardstock as a letter inside the envelope, with white paper glued on one side so I can write down the writing prompt for this month on that. This is how the prompt goes. In the present, her mind only remembers the past. With eyes shut forever, he only sees the future. They collide on the day when time stands still. Take this piece as you like, a poem or prompt, literally or metaphorically, as a writing prompt, drawing prompt, or as any kind of inspiration to create something. Just be sure to share it with me. I would love to read, hear, or see it. I write one for every month, so if you're interested, you can check out the other month's prompts as well. Funny enough, the music used for this video is also titled time stands still. I thought that was perfect. I recently got a set of vintage washi tapes. I chose the teacup for the finishing touch to the collage. And after that, we move on to the Vintage Teacup Dutch door page. I mostly use my Sakura Pigma Micron fine liners with the 0.1 nib to do the drawings, switching it up with the 0.3 now and then to make some thicker lines. I have floral petals coming out of the cup, drawn on the cup and pretty much everywhere. I like to believe that it's the aroma that arises from the tea. What kind of tea would this be? Leave your ideas below in the comments. I used the same washi tape as in the envelope to make the tea bag label. I thought I would write June inside it, but I just loved how it looked like this, so I left it as it is. I cut out the Dutch door and outlined the petals for some more dimension. Aside from the washi tape label, I left the page black and white. On the next spread we have the June calendar, which I made out to be a little tea bag with the dates written inside it. The label for this one was a bit of brown craft paper. Beneath the calendar are the two lists for the long-term and short-term goals and plans. Also on the left side I used some of my leftover craft paper to make a little border to the page. The perforated parts each hold a little teacup. All of them are very loosely drawn. I really love how that looks. And of course there is petals flying all over the page. I guess this is my version of the sakura blossom themes that everyone does. the back side of the Dutch door, I wasn't really sure what I'd do on that page, so I added a notes section because you can never have too many of those. I used my little handmade cardboard stencil to draw out the lines. After that, I used my label embosser to press out the name of the month for the tab for this month. Since I glued 2 pages together for the Dutch door, I simply slid the tab inside those pages. Then comes the weekly spreads. I've decided to skip the second video for the weekly spreads this month and simply include those in this video. I used Dutch doors and tabs as the solution to set up 5 weeks in a row, with every weekly theme quite similar to the other with the use of different kinds of washi tape. On the left side, I used brown craft paper to make a border to draw inside with my white gel pen. And you guessed it, more petals. Can't have enough of those. I will have free dated printables available for this whole setup on my website, and if you're interested in a blank version of it to use for another month, then definitely check out my Etsy shop. I will try to have both of them updated by the time you see this video. I will work on the printables as soon as this video is posted. I used scrap pieces of brown craft paper to use them as tabs and wrote down the week number on them. I repeated that for every week. As mentioned before, I used washi tape to indicate the days of the week, and for the dates I added little doodles of cups and such to hold the numbers. It's a pretty straightforward setup, which I did for every week, just switching up between the washi tape and doodles for every week. I won't be talking through them all, so I hope you enjoy watching the setup of these weeks. Let me know in the comments which one you liked the best. I thought the week with the bubble tea theme was quite unique for my doing, in which I cut out the washi tape in the form of the cups. Leave a comment and let me know. After setting up the last week, I decorated the right side as I did with the left side, but this time I kept it black and white with tea leaves drawn as a pattern all over this thick border. At the bottom of it, there is a little calendar in brown craft paper, so you have an overview of the month, regardless of in which week you are at the moment. Really love how the whole setup of the weeklies turned out. Thinking about doing the same for next month. What do you think? Lastly, I have a flip through of the whole setup for you. I hope you enjoyed watching and I hope you like this setup as much as I do. If you did, please leave a like on this video so I know, and leave a comment with your thoughts. Feel free to leave suggestions for future videos as well. I would love to hear from you. Remember that you can get free dated printables for this setup on my website, and a blank version will be available in my Etsy shop later on. All the info is in the description. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me on any of my social media linked in the description. Also, don't forget to share your recreations with me on Instagram and follow me there for daily uploads. If you're not yet subscribed but you do enjoy my content, please join the family by subscribing and click the bell button if you want to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. And until next time, keep imagining, keep creating, and stay inspired. Bye, darlings.